Abraham Lincoln was an intelligent man and an inspired leader. However, despite his amazing successes, he made one mistake. He got something wrong in his most famous speech, the Gettysburg Address. The speech was given as part of a dedication ceremony for the National Cemetery at Gettysburg. He praises the honorable soldiers who died for freedom and calls upon the living to continue their cause. This is all just and true, except for one little bit of a sentence when he says, "The world will little note nor long remember what we say here." No, President Lincoln, the world remembered. Edward Everett, the man who spoke for 2 hours before Lincoln, managed to condense in a single sentence the reason why it is so important that we remember. He wrote, "Education is a better safeguard of liberty than a standing army." When we are educated as to our history, we evolve from uninformed citizens to perceptive, capable, and responsible American leaders. Our influence as informed and discerning patriotic citizens is freedom's strongest safeguard. Imagine the difference in America if every citizen in every family was filled with the fire of patriotism because they knew history, because they vividly remembered their exemplars in patriotism and therefore could discern freedom from oppression. They would remember heroes of the Civil War, General Philip Kearny, who lost his left arm in battle but still fought on, swinging his sword with his good arm and steering his horse by clenching the reins in his teeth. They remember the brutality of Pickett's charge and the 20th Massachusetts Infantry as they took the brunt of it and suffered the heaviest casualties. And the Lieutenant Sumner Payne, only 18 years old, who lay mortally wounded in the dirt, but still swung his sword in the air, cheering his young men on with the last of his strength. Do we remember our brothers in freedom? And importantly, do we remember the cause for which they gave their last full measure of devotion? Lincoln's last words to the people of Gettysburg were, "It is for us, the living rather, to be dedicated here to the unfinished work which they who fought here have thus far so nobly advanced. It is for us, rather, to be dedicated to the great task remaining before us, that the government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth." In other words, it's our fight now. This decree has not expired. It has merely passed on from the brave Americans who lived and died then for freedom to us, to you and me, the modern generation of brave Americans. And there are still people fighting. There are people that are remembering all over this nation. Last year, the Salt Lake Tribune reported 10,000 students in Utah alone memorized the Gettysburg Address. The address has been recited in jazz games, in college games, by stadiums full of crowds. KUED funds billboards, TV messages, and effective Gettysburg films. Ken Burns, the famous filmmaker, challenges America to learn the address and film themselves reciting it. The response is staggering. Hundreds of Americans, including celebrities, influential political figures, athletes, joined together and filmed themselves reciting the address and post their videos together on a website. And these are just a few examples in how America is remembering. Some may believe America is not made up of heroes anymore, but the truth is, there still are informed, passionate, patriotic fighters. In order to defend freedom, the artillery with which we must arm ourselves consists of knowledge. Learning from the past, it consists of remembering. If ever we needed a safeguard of freedom that is stronger than a standing army, it is now. We have what it takes to defend freedom. If only we are devoted and remember that it is for the living to be dedicated to and advance the unfinished work, we can prevent again a collapse of freedom. President Lincoln thought we would forget, but America is better than that. We are better than that, and we have proved it by remembering for over 150 years now. Let us continue to prove President Lincoln's statement wrong and join with him and all the heroes who lived and died for freedom in our past in the cause which we now so nobly advance, the cause of safeguarding liberty.